Hi, everybody. I believe you're fine. I believe you're all good. I couldn't go live last time due to number of things that came through, so I couldn't. As we discussed earlier, saying 6 steps to discover your true self. I've noted down some points down here with me, so we just gonna go through them together. Knowing yourself is the most important skill you can ever possess. When you know who you are, you know what you need to do. Instead of looking for permissions um, from others to do what you already know you ought to do, it allows you to bypass tons of frustrations, caused by putting in much of your time in the wrong things. You see that? So time wasted is time never covered. You can never have that time wasted ever again. Once your time is wasted, believe me, you can never have that time again. So once you discover who you are, yes, life is supposed to have full of trial and errors, but let's find the best areas of you to experiment with in the first place. Once you know yourself, you become more confident, more courageous, because you have discovered your true self. You will understand your purpose of living. You understand why you are living. You understand why others follow you. You understand why others loves you. You understand as to why everything happens in things start happening in a normal way. Because even if a bad thing happens to you, you automatically have a solution to that problem. Whatever the situation, you always have a solution to that problem that may appear your way. So when you discover yourself, you understand your purpose, and you will begin making greater or bigger impact on the world, which is very, very important. So discovering yourself is something so important that you can ever possess. It's worthy you're living. So if the question comes saying, so how can you know who you are and what you ought to do in life? Here are the 6 steps you need to take in order to know your true self, and which is very, very important. So number 1 key is be quiet. Sorry, I don't own rights to the music playing. So number 1 is be quiet. You yourself, you need time for yourself. You need time to talk to yourself. You need time, think about why am I living today? What is the overall purpose as to why I'm living today? There are a number of things that people do, out of their interest. So be quiet. You cannot and will not be able to know yourself until you take the time to be still. Many people don't know themselves because any sort of silence scares them. Just any sort of silence scares them. It's too uncomfortable to be alone with very low staring back at back. But it isn't until you get alone, evaluate yourself, and completely truthful with yourself, that you will actually be able to see every facet of your life, the good and the bad. Be quiet and discover your true self. Very, very important. So you need to have time for yourself. You need to sit down, talk to yourself, think of why you are living up to date, because you really need to discover yourself. In the end, it's gonna be you yourself. So observing yourself is the necessary starting point for for any real change. Because once you discover yourself, you need to be observing change. Change must take place. Change must take place. In whatever step you take, you must observe a change. Because change is very, very important. Number 2, realize who you truly are, not who you want to be. These are two different things. Realizing who you are actually and not who you want to be. These are two different things. You can be whatever you want to be in life, but there is a certain phase of life where you need to discover yourself, where you need to put yourself in order, where you need to question yourself. What is it that God gave me? What is my talent? What is my gift? What is it that I can do the best out of it? Is it being a nurse? Is it being a teacher? Is it being a doctor? Is it being a truck driver? Is it being an activist? All sorts of who you want to be. But realizing who truly you are, who you are born of, what you're born of, is very, very important. So I know you already have a set idea of who you desperately want to be in life, but it might not be who you were designed to be. There's a certain point where God had designed you in your own way. That's the reason why you see or you find a lot of people telling you to say you are unique in your own way, because they have seen something very creative within yourself. So you've been designed in a way such that you're just unique in your own way, So this is why knowing who you really are is so important. When you know who you are, you finally see where you and your specific gifts, So you can note that knowing who you really are and who you want to be, these are two different things. You are designed in a way such that you are just alone, and you are unique in that way. You see that? But being who you want to be is something everybody can do, actually. Can do. So you see, fit into the bigger picture. And although there are many points along your journey to help you discover yourself, the best way to begin is to take a personality test. How do you take a personality test? And somebody out there may ask, what is a personality test? It's very, very important. Having time. You now go back to the first point. Taking time for yourself. You see? So, personality test and the strength find a taste. If it's been 5 or more years since you have completed either of these, take them again. No, these self-evaluations aren't perfect, but they are pinpoint your top areas of strength. You can focus on the change you were meant to bring in the world. You see that? That could be one step for your success. That could be one step to your success, actually. You see? You need to have a self-test. You need to question yourself. You see that? Looking at the change. Focus on the change that you were meant to bring in this world. There's a particular task that God gave you, but you're not fulfilling it. What is that task? It is within yourself, and you know it better than anyone else. Because that task is impacted in you. Was deposited into you, so you can concentrate on the task that God gave you. You see that? So, number 3 point. Find what you are good at and not good at. Find what you are good at and not good at. This might be the most difficult step in the process of finding who you are, but it's a necessary one. Sure, it takes trial and error to find what you are good at. And no, I don't want you to give up before you have had more than enough attempts. But knowing when to quit. Why quitting doesn't mean you have failed. It's a gift that everyone needs to learn. So you see, we don't have to give up. We don't have to quit. We are not supposed to be afraid of failing. You know why? Because failure is a step to success. So we are not supposed to be afraid of failing. You know what? Because failure is really a step to a success. So we are not supposed to quit. We are not supposed to give up. But instead, we need to fight harder in finding truly who you are. You know, in a field where you can do better than you think you can. And it is very, very important. You see? Quit when you have put in ample time and your efforts aren't giving back in return. What is ample time? Only you can decide that. But when you quit collectory, it isn't giving up. When you quit collectory, it's not giving up. But if you quit wrongly, it simply means you've given up. I like that one. So you see, quitting collectory, it does not mean that you have given up. But quitting wrongly, meaning you have given up. So simply means when you are quitting, you should actually give yourself reasons as to why you are quitting. You know, at a certain point, quitting, it could direct you to another another fortunate thing that you can be looking at. But how do you quit? You don't just quit. You need to give yourself reasons as to why you are quitting. Because if you quit wrongly, you're gonna pay for it. So quit collectory. That does not mean you've given up. You see, it's making room for something better. You see, when your actions do nothing but drain you, rather than produce more passion and increase your drive to do more, that's a good sign. It is time to focus elsewhere. Your strengths will show you who you are. You see that? Because that's a good sign. It is time to focus elsewhere. Your strength will show you who you are. You need to be strong because you're born stronger. So, that was number 3. Find what you are good at, but don't quit wrongly. Remember, don't quit wrongly. Quitting correct is actually not giving up, but quitting wrongly, is actually giving up. So be careful in quitting. Choose wisely. Think before you act. Very, very important. So number 4, find what you are passionate about. You see that? Following passion of any kind is a good thing actually. It's a very good thing. About following your passion. And you need to pay attention when it comes, because it indicates an area of life that you need to pay more attention to. If we are talking about following your passion in work, that's a good thing. And we are talking about having more passion for life. It's a good thing. Focus more on passion, understand yourself in a better ways, and you will make bigger impact. You see that? So it's all about making bigger impact. It's about the legacy that you leave behind. And that is very, very important, because your legacy gonna leave. You know, you need to leave a legacy that gonna go generations to generations to come. they should find your legacy. Leave a good legacy behind. Very, very important. You see, passion produces effort, and continuous effort produces results. Get that? Passion produces effort, and continuous effort produces results. So you see that when you are passionate about something, because you're passionate in something, will actually produce effort. Now, a continuous effort will produce what? Good results, best results. It produces, the good impact on the world, in the community, in the society that you live in, in everything that you do, at your workplace. It produces good results, a good behavior that people will be looking at. You'll be picked as a good example to anything, actually. So, being passionate about something, it actually produces effort. And the continuous effort produces what? Perfect results. It attracts who you are. You see that? That is point number 4. What you are passionate about. Discovering yourself. Because when you discover yourself, you're gonna know exactly, what is passion. You're gonna know exactly what it takes to be passionate about something. Something that you desire the most, because desire also comes in there. You can't be passionate on something that you don't desire, on something that you don't love. You see that? So number 5 step, it says, ask for feedback. If you don't know yourself, hearing what others have to say about you is a helpful practice. If you don't know yourself, hearing what others have to say about you is very helpful practice. Ask them 2 simple questions. What strengths do you think I need to develop further? You see? And what weakness do you think I need to work on? Some people, it's not that because you know yourself better doesn't mean that you easily discover your weaknesses. Yeah, you can discover your weaknesses, but you might not know what you are supposed to work on your weaknesses. You see, either your strength on what you can persuade in life. You see that? So you can go into that field and ask people, especially those that know your weaknesses. Ask them, how do I work on my weaknesses, and what is my weakness? Let people say something about you. It is very, very important, very comforting, because at the end of the day, you learn more, and by you learning, meaning you are acquiring more knowledge. So it's not actually something that are very difficult to take, but it is very, very important to take. You see, you can have an idea, but if you're not working on an idea, it will die just like that. So it's very, very important. Of course, their opinion isn't going to be perfect, but their feedback will probably indicate a few areas. So that means their feedback won't be perfect, won't be as good as you be expecting it, but you just need to focus, you just need to hear their views about you. So that field is very, very important to know, because if you don't ask, you'll keep on making a lot of mistakes without realizing, So it's important to know about them. Access your relationship. What is your relationship? A large aspect of knowing yourself can be found in your relationships. When you realize you will never truly know anyone else until you discover yourself, the importance of knowing yourself becomes even more apparent. This truth is specifically rings true for business leaders, because if you don't know the people on your team, then you will be lost as a leader. But this rule also applies to any relationship in your life. Almost as much as you need to know yourself, other better also works to know who you are. People need the real you. People need the real you. Use your reflections to fight your biggest fears. Use your reflections to fight your biggest fears. Because when you understand who you're meant to be, your purpose will finally become bigger than your fears. When you realize who you are, you will spend less time spinning your wheels, focusing on your strengths. Give you the needed traction to begin making a bigger and better difference in the world. When you know yourself, you will find more peace, and you will find success quicker than ever before. Now go take action and find your true self actually. Starting today, you need to discover your true self. You need to take that opportunity to go look out for your true self. Okay? So it's not something, I would tell you something that, like, a life risk taker is a person who doesn't believe in fears, is a person who doesn't believe in what people are talking about, is a person that takes all kind of risks in life for a better tomorrow. It takes a life risk taker. Be a life risk taker today. Observe a change, for you can change others. Believe in love, walk with love, do with love. Together we can, by sharing every view that everybody is keeping in their hearts. Let people know what you got to say, what you got to talk about. Go in the lookout of your true self. Discover who you are. It is very, very important to note. Okay.